I thought I'd make a video to explain the Amalia Puflea case, as there isn't a source in English that explains this complex situation. I've seen countless comments from non-Romanian people online wondering why the transfer process between training centers is so hard for Puflea. I've been following Puflea's gymnastics career since 2019, so I, of course, am very invested in the future of this gymnast in the sport, and I read every single interview, news source, and press statement. So I wanted to make a video to explain the whole situation. The Puflea case has many systems of power, both family members and professional people. In this video series, I will be factually explaining the order of events which led one of Romania's best gymnasts to be out of the gym for so far 4 months. Because there is a never-strong Romanian gymnast named Amalia Giguarta, I will be referring to Amalia Puflea by her last name, Puflea, throughout this video series. First, this video will have some background on the club system in Romania before explaining the order of events with the Puflea case that started in September 2022. Puflea began training in her home city, Barlad, as a toddler with coaches Ana Maria Iordache and Liviu Iordache. This couple has no relation to famous gymnast Larisa Iordache. Puflea was one of many young gymnasts to be selected for a program called Country We Want Champion, where she received a scholarship in this nationwide program. Puflea was part of this program and she grew up training in her Barlad club. Romanian sports is a government-run system. Every major gymnastics training center in Romania is part of a larger multi-sport government-run club. The club Puflea has been registered with since age 4, Barlad, is not just for gymnastics, but encompasses many sports. When Puflea was 11 to 12 years old in 2018, she moved to the National Training Center in Deva, Romania, and began training under Lucian Sandu and Gina Gojan. Puflea began training in a group of elite girls her age alongside notable gymnasts like Ana Barbosu and Mara Saplinci. The reason Romanian gymnastics is built on a centralized system where all top talent is together is because the club gyms are often small with poor equipment and are not sustainable for elite training. Barlad does not have a tumble track or a trampoline and is quite small, whereas Deva, the National Training Center, has better equipment. To give you an idea about how poor the equipment is at some club gyms in Romania, on September 8th, 2022, the Barlad Gym Facebook page posted about how their club received a SPF beam, a small, quote, inflatable mattress, and a small bar from money, quote, coming from the Vaslui County Gymnastics Association through the kindness of Mr. Constantine Delute, to whom we thank from the bottom of our hearts for the trust granted, end quote. In countries like the USA and UK, gyms do not make a social media post when they receive a new beam. But in a club gym like Romania, receiving new equipment is a really big deal. The reason for explaining these details is to provide the rationale for why Puflea would leave the club gym Barlad in 2018. At the National Training Center in Deva, gymnasts are completely sponsored by the government and do not pay for housing, meals, coaching, or school. As mentioned before, Puflea was also on a scholarship from the Country We Want Champion program. Deva is a multi-sport boarding school, and the gymnasts attend school with athletes from a wide variety of sports such as football, volleyball, and aerobic gymnastics. While Puflea was training at the National Training Center in Deva from 2018 to 2022, she was still registered with her club gym, Bar Lod, and represented Bar Lod in national competitions. Puflea was still in touch with the childhood coaches, Anna Maria and Livu Yordaki, and would visit the club gym, Bar Lod. During the time Puflea was living in Deva, her father had complete custody of her, and her mother had lost all custody. This is a very important detail, because this will explain why her case is so complicated later on. According to the Federation of Romanian Gymnastics, in a press statement released on November 23, 2022, the Federation explains that Puflea's mother had not been living in Romania during the past 4 years that she was at Deva 2018 to 2022. The other major location in the Amalia Puflea case the viewer needs to know about is the Dinamo Sports Club located in the capital city, Bucharest. Similar to all gymnastics training centers in Romania, Dinamo is not just a gym, it's a government-run large multi-sport organization. Dinamo is one of the biggest and richest clubs in Romania. In Romania, the better results a club has, the more government funding it will receive. So who is at the Dinamo club? The main coaches are Lulu and Christian Moldovan, who coached Larissa Yordaki in 2017, and in Larissa's comeback in 2020 and 2021. From June 2021 onward, this couple coached Antonia Duta and Ioana Stancilescu and is currently still coaching them. On September 25th, 2022, 2 days after Puflea left the Deva Training Center, Sabrina Voinia's coach and mother, Camila, made a post on Facebook that Camila, Sabrina, and junior gymnast Melissa Orzakai would be moving to Dinamo. Camila only coaches 2 gymnasts, Sabrina and Melissa. I will discuss the complicated club transfer process in Romania later in this video series because we know that this is Puflea's main goal, to transfer clubs from Bar Lod to Dinamo. But for now, I will begin the timeline of Amalia Puflea's situation. Puflea became famous at the 2022 European Youth Olympic Festival, where she had a stellar performance and won team gold, all-around silver, beam gold, and floor gold. She was the most decorated Romanian athlete from the European Youth Olympic Festival and the second most decorated gymnast after Germany's Helen Kervik. At the 2022 Junior European Championship, just 2 weeks later, Puflea won team silver, beam bronze, and floor gold. However, after this huge summer success, Puflea's career drastically changed. On Friday, September 23rd, 2022, at 11:06 a.m., an article was published through the Romanian news source ProSport, where Amalia Puflea's mother, named Elena Onel, spoke on the phone and gave many quotes. Puflea's mother explained that Puflea threatened suicide at the Deva National Training Center by saying, quote, "My child informed me today through a text message that if I don't come to pick her up, she will throw herself out the window." End quote. Puflea's mom went on to say, quote, "We're going to get her. We're from Bar Lod and we're going to Deva. I don't know how you would react if you received a message from the child that she wants to throw herself out the window. We are very far away. It's terrible. I have to go." That's the end of the quote. Before picking up her daughter, who had just threatened suicide, Puflea's mom had a recorded phone call with the Romanian news source ProSport, and this news spread rapidly in Romania. Other standout quotes that Puflea's mom said include, "They forced her to compete with her legs full of blood, gushing out her blood." End quote. That is in reference to 2022 EOF and Junior European Championships. The next quotes are, "The problems started when the male coaches started behaving very badly with most of the girls. I don't know if the other parents have the courage to speak up. The children are traumatized. There will probably be more calls from the parents of the girls from Deva. These quotes where the mother explains the other 14 gymnasts' experience and the parents' experience will be significant later in this video series. Other quotes are, "But it has gone too far. It has reached beatings, insults, offending families, and threats. I talked to my girl, and she said she no longer feels comfortable there, and I asked for a transfer to Dynamo." Similar to how Puflea's mom went to the press before picking up her daughter who had just threatened suicide, the mother, Elena O'Neill, also had the press come to film Puflea as she packed up her belongings from Deva. This video was published on Saturday, September 24th. In this interview, Elena O'Neill says that Puflea was physically abused as she was forced to compete with a broken toenail and a hurt foot at EOF and Euros. She also reiterates that her daughter has threatened suicide. Now we will look at some quotes Puflea gave to the same news source her mother went to, ProSport. Puflea's ProSport quotes were published on Monday, September 26th. For Puflea's quotes, I will focus on the ones about physical abuse. Puflea says, "The behavior of the coaches consists of insults. Probably some girls were also beaten, but there were some jokes that should not have been made on my account." End quote. The word probably suggests that Puflea is assuming the other girls are likely beaten, but Puflea is not saying this is a fact. Based on the mother's quotes given before she picked Puflea up from Deva, she said, "It led to beatings," and many internet users were assuming all Deva gymnasts were frequently beaten. But the only mention Puflea has of physical abuse is this next following quote. "Once there was a girl in the group who was kicked out. We were both on the parallel bars and I didn't get an element. And she didn't succeed either. He took us both out. And as far as I remember, and I hope I'm not mistaken, I also received a slap from Coach Lucien. It hit me over the head." End quote. A huge difference between Puflea's words and her mother's is that in terms of physical abuse, Puflea only mentions Coach Lucien Sandu and only mentions one instance of physical abuse. However, the mother said the problem started when the male coaches started behaving very badly with most of the girls and says it has reached beatings. Lucien Sandu is the head coach, and these two other men in the picture are assistants. However, Puflea does not mention these two men at all. She has no mentions of them being physically abusive or verbally abusive, and their names are not included anywhere in Amalia Puflea's quotes. Although neither the mother's account or Puflea's account is okay by any means, there is a difference between the words of the mother and the words of Puflea. Puflea also talked about the blood on her leg during the Junior European Beam Final. Puflea said her coaches were disappointed with her third place. Quote, "I had to work, grit my teeth, with blood on my leg." Here's a picture of Puflea's foot with the bandage on it right when she finished the Junior European Beam Final when the mother said the blood was gushing out. For a quick recap of Puflea's 2022 season leading up to EOF and Euros, Puflea only competed bars at Jesolo in April 2022. Puflea competed downgraded routines at the Romania versus Hungary friendly on May 21st, 2022. Puflea did not compete at the Junior Nationals held in early July. Puflea competed downgraded routines at a national competition called OMV Petrum in mid-July, and Puflea only competed competitive routines at EOF and Euros, but did not include her full 2021 difficulty. Puflea also took photos and did a short interview with Pulse 24, and this video was released on the same day as the ProSport one, Monday, September 26th. The Federation of Romanian Gymnastics said in a press statement released on November 23rd, 2022, that between Saturday, September 24th and Sunday, September 25th, after Amalia Puflea left the sports training camp in Deva, accompanied by her mother, they organized meetings with the 14 other gymnasts' parents, and the parents identified no issues at the National Training Center. The FRG stated that, quote, an analysis of the activity in the Deva Center is launched, in which both school, medical, and sports staff are involved. It's up to you, the viewer of this video, to interpret this however you want. However, I'm just providing the facts that the Federation released. On Saturday, September 24th, one day after Puflea's mom's interview was released, the Minister of Sports in Romania, Edward Novak, released a statement about Puflea's case. In Romania, there are different ministries, such as the Ministry of Finance, Ministry of Internal Affairs, Ministry of National Defense, and this man is the government official in charge of the Ministry of Sports. As mentioned before, Romania's sport is a government-run system. Edward Novak said in his statement, quote, I read with bewilderment and concern about the case of athlete Amalia Puflea from the national gymnastics team. He then says he wants a meeting with all factors involved, representatives from the federation, people from the Dinamo club where she wants to transfer to, the Deva coaches Puflea and both her parents, the father, the one with full custody, and the mother, the one with no custody. The public will never know what truly happened in this meeting. The Federation said that, quote, Puflea cited a communication problem with the coaches, but without being able to give concrete examples. For their part, the coaches, Lucian Sandu and Gina Gojin, demonstrated with written documentation both the state of health and the interventions, sometimes personal, in solving the various sports, medical, and school problems of the athlete. In the same meeting, a strong imbalance was highlighted in the relations between the minor's parents, both having diametrically opposed opinions. Later that day, the Minister of Sports released a statement that said, today I had perhaps the most difficult meeting I have ever participated in which the main topic was gymnast Amalia Puflea. His statement gave no solution and fans were left confused. The next day, the Federation released a short statement where they explained Amalia Puflea will train at Barlad, the club to which she is registered, until the resolution of all the reported issues. After leaving Deva, Amalia Puflea had returned to her mother's home in Barlad. So now Puflea would train in the gym in her home city, although this was not a perfect solution. At least she had a place to train and stay in shape. Another notable detail the Federation said was that, quote, the FRG management and the Deva coaches were not aware Amalia Puflea had an issue with them until September 23rd when the original ProSport article came out. It's up to you again to interpret this. This is just what they are claiming. The Federation also gave Coach Lucian Sandu a warning, as they said this was in compliance with the FIG standards, as this was Coach Lucian Sandu's first official complaint. So September ended with Lucian Sandu given a warning but still coaching and Puflea training at her registered club gym. Thank you for watching, and I will post the details of what happened in October soon, and I'll also be talking about the club transfer process in Romania.